The author of those rooftop sermons and pain-filled street scriptures is back with his first drop of 2024. What is good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Mob. If you are rocking with this content, be sure to smash up the like button for your boy, as that is greatly appreciated. And also subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. But today I'm going to be talking about this new album from Ransom and Harry Fraud entitled Lavish Misery. Now, Duffel Bag Ran, coming out of Jersey City, has been dropping consistently fire projects since about 2020. To be clear, he had released good material prior to that date, but it was around that 2020 mark where he really embarked on this second impressive run of his career. Since then, Ransom's name has been synonymous with consistency, strong output, and just a high level rhyming. But this time around, he has joined forces with the ultra prolific Brooklyn producer Harry Fraud. These two have never collaborated for a full-length project until now. So going into this, I was curious to hear how these two would sound together and what their chemistry would be like on wax. This record, Lavish Misery, contains just 8 songs lasting approximately 21 minutes. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with that track by track breakdown. The opening song, Immaculate Conception, has this bluesy sample that is on the mellower, smooth side of things. And Ransom is dropping some food for thought with bars like, enlightened, so now I'm writing this new Quran, was only brought here to this earth to make sure you informed. And that's the thing about Rand, he's always going to make you think. I also like the final part of the verse where he stated, ain't no flaws in my virtue, I'm a first degree murderer, ain't no cause for a verse 2. When I say family matters, there ain't no Lords or Urkels. You can bet your life that Harry's the only fraud in this circle. Now that fraud line was sharp, but also amusing. But yeah, this was a chill opener sonically, even though the bars were hard-hitting. Track 2, Chain of Command, is an instant highlight. We get this glorious boom bap production with a jazz presence, and Rand is just bodying this beat in such a cool and calm way vocally. His voice just sounds so exalted and grand throughout, especially with everything about Rand is a mystery except my ability. I etch my name in history, sketch the pain out so vividly. It's artistry. I paint things horribly, then turn my poverty into sovereignty. Then on the second verse, he hits us with a cool scheme where he name drops Jay and Nas. Album titles like Still Life is Good, but you gotta watch the throne. And if you don't, you get a king's disease. We don't want to catch that king's disease. No one wants gout. So as a whole, this was a dope track with a gorgeous jazzy beat from Harry Fraud. Track 3, Matchstick Man, has some cinematic strings that give the track more punch and urgency than the preceding two. There's a sinister mafioso quality to it, and it's probably the closest thing to a banger as far as the tempo goes. On this one, Rand is talking his talk, like when he says, you ain't flying up to see me, please don't insult the pilot, on a level above myself, so I guess that I'm flying private. That was hard. But he was also dropping some jewels for the youngins with, I'm here to remind you, leave that bullshit behind you. Sometimes you gotta lose them fake dudes so you can find you. And that's some true game right there. But as a whole, it's a very solid song. My only issue was that I wish it had a second verse. Following song, Live from the Roxy, is the single featuring Bodie James that had been released prior. And it's got a pretty soulful and drumless loop that screams 70s era. And Bodie James did his thing on this one, dropping some witty lines like, Brick of Phil Donahue, no Joni and Chachi, cook it up right in front of you, something like hibachi, street life, pocket full of bands, mariachi. Now that pocket full of bands, mariachi, might sound simple, but it was fire to me. But to keep it a buck, it was Ransom who scorched this track lyrically. Some of the standout bars would have to be, why don't you turn your back when the street's calling? I don't sleep often. The cousin of death is rest in a cheap coffin. And probably his hardest bars on the tape were playing Chris and Snoop in the hoopty while police swarming. We want to be more, so we looked for Wallace to be Jordan. Now, obviously, those are some razor sharp wire references. The double entendres are going crazy with this one. Next, there is The Losses, which takes on more of a chill, rainy day vibe. This is the kind of contemplative beat that is so low key, but I feel it works perfectly with the way Ransom is rapping. And for some reason, I feel that he was channeling both Nas and Hove with his flow, especially Nas. And Rand is rapping about how embracing these losses have allowed him to island hop and just live more lavishly. But all in all, I do like this track a lot, even though it has a sentimental, melancholy feel to it. Right after is Wilson Fix with 38 Spesh, and this has what I would call a definitive Harry Fraud sounding beat that you can envision someone like Currency rapping over. There is that moody but suspenseful 1980s crime noir aesthetic to it, like imagine a drug deal in a warehouse right before a shootout. Now, I didn't find 38 Spesh's verse to be as crazy as his past collabs with Ransom, so Ransom ended up being the MVP. But altogether, it's still a cool track that did tap into that Harry Fraud aesthetic quite well. Then there is Eye of the Storm, which has a plotting but gloomy instrumental where Ransom is rapping in this very austere and grim tone that complements the beat well. He states, "But ain't no crowns or jewels that come with a king's grave. Remember this, Rand's on a mission to put an end to this. Get dismembered if you diss members of my membership." Dope wordplay indeed. But this track sort of epitomizes the misery side of things, whereas The Losses gave us more of the lavish side. Then this project comes to a close with And One, where we get this unnerving but still illustrious instrumental. Rand is talking about the road to recovery after prison, so there are some sharp lines dealing with jail, like the book got thrown but I read the summary. Also, back to that jail cell begrudgingly, and you ain't even want to know what was said in your discovery. Yeah, as a whole, this was a strong closing track that ended things on a haunting but epic note. So overall, I'm going to give this project a rating of 4 mics, possibly a strong 4. Not quite for me, but I could see it going there. Of course, with the bars, Ransom did not miss, and he came through not only with clever wordplay, but also those thought-provoking and cerebral bars. And you would not have to search long to find those quotables and rewind-worthy lines. Now, in terms of the production, I thought Fraud's contribution was solid, but it was on the mellower and more subdued side throughout, which is okay. I'm not saying these beats were bad, but I honestly could have welcomed a change in pace to possibly get one instrumental with a higher energy, you know, to maybe balance out some of the more laid back and gloomy sonics of this record. That is just my personal view, but this is still a very strong project at the end of the day that I'm sure most fans of Rand and Fraud will be playing throughout the remainder of this year. And let me know in the comment section if you liked the pairing of these two and if you would want them to collab again down the road. My favorite tracks include Chain of Command, Matchstick Man, Live from the Roxy, Losses, Eye of the Storm, and One. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out. As always, it's peace and blessings. Ransom, Harry Fraud, Lavish Misery, One.